Welcome back, everybody. We are doing story time today. I'm going to tell you a story from my youth. Sorry, Mom, sorry, Dad, and anybody involved in this story. I feel like the statute of limitations is gone by now on everything that had happened. And yeah, maybe you guys will get a kick out of the story, maybe not. But this is the Halloween shitstorm massacre. Okay, so I thought telling the story would be a little bit boring of me sitting just in front of the camera. So I'm going to be playing one of my favorite games, Destiny 2, while I tell you this story. So, take you back. I was about 18, 19 years old. It was probably about 2009, 2010, and my cousins graciously invited me to DJ a Halloween party in our local town. And this Halloween party was at a apartment complex that they had rented out, like the common area room. And they just invited a bunch of people to hang out and party on Halloween. So the girlfriend I was with at the time, her parents had a minivan, and we were all wondering, oh, how are we gonna get to the party and back? And I was like, oh, she's got a minivan, let's just all go in that. It'll save time, and we can all ride back in one car. So we get there, and parking's pretty scarce because everybody's showing up to this party, and we don't know where to park. So we see an empty slot under like one of those garage roofs that are usually earmarked for people who actually live there. So we're like, it's empty. Like, we're not gonna be like, if somebody needs us to move it, we'll move it. That's fine. So we parked there. Didn't think anything of it. So I get to DJing, and I get to drinking. And to this day, I quit drinking, and one of this story is one of the reasons why I kind of had to tone it down a little bit. But so I'm DJing, we're drinking. They're handing around like Captain Morgan's tattoo, which I thought it was really cool because it was like all black, and I can't stand the smell of black licorice, and that's what it tasted like. Until this day, I smell black licorice. I'm like, no, thank you. So we start drinking. Must have been like 3 or 4 hours into the party, and I'm DJing, drinking, feeling good, and I want to feel a little bit better, so I keep drinking. So I honestly lost count after like the 3rd or 4th drink, and I knew I was feeling it, and I knew I should have stopped drinking, but people just kept handing alcohol out. Like, okay, whatever. So I get to a point to where I start feeling a little dizzy. So I go outside. I'm like, I need some fresh air. And I didn't know at the time that getting fresh air and going outside makes you feel a little bit more drunk. So I think that was one of like the worst things I could have done by going outside. So I go outside. I can hardly stand. I'm sitting up against some like pillar that's there at the apartment complex, and the girl I was with at the time was there. And I was dressed as Jason for Halloween, so I was really basic plaid. I had like a fake machete and a hockey mask. And so I took off my mask, and I'm sitting there like wobbling around, can't even keep myself up. And I tell her, she's standing right there, I go, you know how when you play Grand Theft Auto 4 and you get drunk in the game and everything's like really wobbly and really weird? That's how I was starting to feel. So I gave it a couple of minutes. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I was not fine. I got to the point to where
keep this up and the battle is yours.
I couldn't hold it anymore, and I felt puke coming up in my throat, and I'm like, oh, this is happening. So I hunch over and I throw up all over my hand, and I'm like, no, this can't be happening. I was like, why? I hate throwing up. I have a big fear of throwing up. It's like the most uncomfortable, worst thing in the world. So I ended up puking all over my hand, and I had my watch on, and I got all over my watch, all over my wrist. And I just remember taking off my watch and telling the girl I was with, hey, take my watch. She was like, no, it's covered in puke. I'm like, take it, just take my watch. I can't hold on to it right now. So I started throwing up even more. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I started like walking around the apartment complex like completely plastered. Somehow I blacked out. And where I blacked out was like in the middle of the apartment complex road. with a Jason mask on and a machete just sitting next to me. It was really weird. So I get woken up. I'm not sure how long I was sitting there, but I got woken up by lights being flashed in my eyes, like big flashlights. It's like, okay, what the hell's going on? I look up and I see 2 cops staring down at me. And I was like, oh no, this can't be good. This cannot be good. I'm underage. I've been drinking. I probably have vomit all over myself. So they're like, are you supposed to be somewhere? I'm like, in the nick of time, my cousins came by and we're like, oh, he's with us. He just had too much to drink. Like, we'll get him inside. And you know, sorry, officer. Sorry for the disturbance. So they get me inside, and my cousins are trying to force feed me like crackers and like it was like a meat lunch plate or something. I just remember being like belligerently drunk, like, don't fucking touch me. Like I don't need to eat. I'm fine. Get out of here. I remember my cousins being like, man, you're being a dick right now, and just fucking left. So they left. At that point, I don't really remember what else was going on. I just remember puking some more. And apparently what had happened was because we had parked in the garage area of that port, her parents' van had gotten towed. Her parents' van had gotten towed, which that was the only ride that we had there to and from the party. I was, like, I don't know where, throwing up and being belligerent towards people. And at one point, I saw my cousin kind of going a little bit crazy and, like, yelling and like, dude, I don't know what he was doing. He was just yelling at everybody, and my other cousin was trying to calm him down. Next thing I know, I'm in another car. They're like, oh, we gotta leave. The girl I was with was freaking out because she had to call her parents to get the car out of the impound lot, which was a bill in itself that I don't think anybody could have paid. But I get in this car with a bunch of people. I don't know who the hell they are. All I know is I have to throw up, and we're going down the freeway like 70 miles an hour, and my head's sticking out the window while I'm sitting there vomiting all over the side of somebody's car. And I remember being put in somebody's bed. It was an empty bed, empty room, and still not feeling good at all. So I remember waking up, and they had laid me on my back, which I think was a bad idea. And I remember waking up, turning on my side, and throwing up like all over the carpet, all over the bedspread. And then I blacked out. I was like, okay, whatever. So I wake up in the morning, but I don't wake up in bed. I wake up in a bathtub, filled bathtub, naked.
30 seconds.
Naked with my clothes folded neatly on the seat, on the toilet seat. I'm like, okay, what's, like, it took me a minute to, like, try and get the recollection of what the hell had happened last night. And where we were about, on the outskirts of this city is where the party was. I go outside to kind of get my bearings and figure out where the hell I am. Well, I'm no longer in the city I thought I was. I'm in the middle of another city. So I'm like, okay. Who undressed me and put me in this tub?
Single victory doesn't
because I don't know what the fuck they saw, or like somebody did something to me. I don't know what the hell was going on. I was a little worried about that. And I get up, I walk around the house, and there's a bunch of random people that I don't know who the hell they are. I don't know who they are, and I'm in the middle of a place that I wasn't in before. So I keep walking around like, hey, like, do I know any of you? Did I, like, talk to any of you last night? And my cousin walks in the door. Apparently it was my cousin's friend's house, and they're the ones that brought me there to get over whatever the hell, my stupid ass was doing, being drunk. But that's not where the story ends. I woke up in the bathtub naked. I found my bearings. I was like 15, 20 miles away from where we started partying, and I don't remember how I got there. But apparently, since the car had been towed, the girl I was with, her parents were like super pissed at me because they thought it was all my fault because I was the one that was drinking way too much. And apparently that caused a fight between like my cousin and somebody else, and he ended up punching out like a bunch of lights at the apartment complex and like kicked in like one of the newspaper things, cut his hand so bad he had to go get stitches. So while my cousins were in the hospital getting my other cousin's hand stitched up, they were getting the car out of impound and everything, and it was just the biggest fiasco ever. And since that day, I have not drank that much in my entire life ever. And all I could remember was thank God I didn't get picked up by those cops, and thank God I was blessed with genetics to have grown a beard, which probably made me look a little bit older than I was. And I guess that was the only good part of the night. Was I didn't get arrested, and that whoever took care of me, and I didn't get assaulted in any way. But needless to say, I had the worst 2-day hangover of my entire life, and I don't think I'm going to be going that hard on Halloween anytime soon. But that's the Halloween Shitstorm Massacre. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. I don't know how well of a storyteller I am. If this amused you, I have plenty of other stories that are things just get way out of hand. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.